YouTube, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cash. There's only one way we do things, that is the Cash way. As you can see by the title, we are reacting to Albania geography now. And I'm walking into this one, happily as ever, because my personal relationship with Albanians, that's deep. That's deep. Changed my life, to be honest. Before I start, Mirror, good morning to y'all all around the world, worldwide. Let's do it. Oh, shout out to Romania geography now and India geography now. I love them both. You already know.
High school, there's always like that one little emo kid that just kind of keeps to themselves and sits in the corner. But then about 10 years later at the reunion, you find out they actually have a lot of friends and they're pretty cool. That's kind of like what Albania is.
What is this dude talking about, yo? This dude be saying some other stuff. He just be talking.
It's time to learn geography now! Now you know the drill before.
Oh yeah, and this video was posted years ago, before the geography now Romania and India. So maybe at that time he wasn't too knowledgeable on like what he was like getting into. So I don't know if some key things will be missing or not. But just off the date when I had put this in on YouTube, I was like, oh wow, I recognized that immediately.
Let's dissect that flag.
That's a fact. Double-headed eagle. You already know. Something like that. You already know. Shout out to all my Shapa out there. All my Illyrians. Big Dardania. And it goes like that. Shout out Skid in the Bag. Mother Teresa. Shout out them all.
See, the Albanian flag is actually pretty simple. It's just a red banner with a double-headed eagle emblem on top of it. The red representing bravery and courage, and the double-headed eagle is an emblem that the Albanians have claimed that they have historically used to identify themselves as a people group, even though there may be some other countries that would argue. In terms of its political geography, Albania is located in the South Balkan region, right north of Greece, south of Montenegro, west of Macedonia, and Kosovo, even though Serbia will tell you
Kosovo or Kosovo, that's how we say it. The way it's written, Kosovo, that is the Serbia way. But how I say it personally, my Albanians, my Albanian blood relatives, we say Kosovo, Clan Kosovo, that we do.
that Kosovo is totally not Kosovo and it's just part of Serbia, but we'll discuss that in another video. And off the coast of the Ionian and the Adriatic Seas. Now when it comes to Albania's borders, it almost kind of looks like every single country surrounding Albania is trying to take as much coastline away as they can from Albania. In the south, Greece is like, I'm just gonna take these extra 10 miles of beach. In the north, Montenegro's like, I'm just gonna take the entire Buna River. And even inland, Macedonia is like, I'm just gonna take the majority of the Prespa and Ohrid lakes and access to those lakes. Albania doesn't really get much regard. Now, unlike many of its neighbors that border the Mediterranean, Albania doesn't really have many islands that border its coastline. In fact, there are only about 7 to 10-ish islands, most of which are small, uninhabited, or barely inhabited, like Tongo and Stilo Island in the south, which each only have one house on them, and most of the other ones are basically barely even the size of an IKEA. However, a lot of them do have a lot of cool historical ancient sites and landmarks on them, such as Ali Pasha Castle on Butrint and the 13th century monastery on Zvenes Island. Except for
13th century. Woo-wee. It's a long time ago, y'all. It's a long time ago. Think about that.
1. Sazan Island. Sazan Island has actually played a very crucial role in Albania's history. It was taken over by the Romans, and then the Byzantines, and the Ottomans, and the Greeks, and the Italians, and the British, and then the Greeks, but the Greeks didn't want it again, so they gave it to the Italians. And then the Italians finally gave it to Albania. It's a long story. To this day, Sazan Island is the only somewhat inhabited island, as
Shout out to speaking of the Italians, shout out to all my Bresh brothers and sisters out there. If y'all know anything about that, I don't know if this guy's gonna speak on it or not, but Bresh that traveled, now ethnic Albanians that traveled to Italy during the Ottoman Empire regime, you know, that lasted somewhere between 400 to 500 years. You know, and they went over to Italy. I forgot the name. I think it's in southern Italy or in Sicily. And yeah, the culture of Abresh. I'm sorry, I'm just a little under the weather. But yeah, shout out to all my Abresh people. You know, Albanese.
People living there are only there to maintain the former military bases that were built. In terms of its physical geography, Albania is about 70% mountainous, with about 25% of the land being arable for agriculture and farming, which, by the way, is a sector that employs about half of the entire population of Albania. Albanians take their agriculture very seriously. In fact, for a while, they were completely closed off from the rest of the world and self-reliant. In addition to fruits and vegetables and other produce, one thing that Albanians really like to grow? Tobacco. They just do. Now, Albania is also loaded with a bunch of other types of landscapes, like rolling green hills and lush forests and very nice warm temperatures.
Beautiful, beautiful. Just seeing green, just seeing, you know, Mother Nature, just the God-given, you know, beauty of the world we live in, like trees, the air, the water, plants, you know, animals. You can't take that stuff away. That stuff is just God given, and you know, not everyone in the world is blessed to have it at a rate in which Albania has it. So you know, you just got to be grateful for those little things. Very natural, you know, organic.
Beaches, such as the ones at Samil and Durres. Speaking of which, interesting fact.
Shout out Durres. Shout out. You already know, man. You already know.
If you go to Albania, pretty much everywhere around the entire country, you'll notice.
Shout out to Puk Albania too. Shout out to y'all over there, man. I know where you at.
These World War II concrete war bunkers located everywhere. The reason being because in the middle of the 20th century, the old communist leader Enver Hoxha took over and built these.
Man, that dude is a savage, man. That dude is a savage, man. We're not even gonna talk about him, but we got to be educated about what the things that he did do. Yeah.
War bunkers, about 700,000 of them, and placed them all over the country as a means for militaristic preparation. Now, of course, that costed the country a lot of money that they pretty much didn't have, and it was a poor investment because they never really needed them. However, to this day, it's almost like a little I Spy game. When you go to Albania, see how many bunkers you can find. Now, in terms of its demographics, about 85%, the vast majority of people in Albania identify as ethnically Albanian. Now, there are some minorities.
Correct. Ethnically Albanian, ethnically Shqiptar. Let's see what else.
Like Greeks and Macedonians and Montenegrins as well. The vast.
Hey, shout out to y'all that live there too. It's a beautiful country, and it's obviously y'all homeland as well. As in, you know, y'all reside there, so. It is what it is. Respect.
The majority of people in Albania also speak the
Just take care of your country. You know.
Albanian language, which is one of the most distinguishable facets of this country. The Albanian language to this day relates to
Indo-European.
No other Indo-European language branch in the world. It stands alone as its own, and it's a very unique language. Albania also has a very interesting faith-based.
Yo, that's how you know that Albanians are like ethical legends. Like, it's nothing like it. So like, to me, I was doing some deep thinking about it. It's nothing like it. It's like one of a kind. No, that's very rare. That's like on some first humans ever type thing. You feel me? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's freaking amazing though. It's freaking amazing, and I love it.
background. About 60% of the people identify as non-denominational or secular Muslim, and about 20% identify as Christian, mostly Catholic or Orthodox. Although historically, Albania at one point banned all...
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's definitely a fact. Large majority are, Muslim, Islam, Yes, me personally, I'm not, and my my wife are not Muslims, but a majority of our family are. Whether they practice it or not, they claim it due to the social society of their family claiming it and really practicing it, like real. Not just saying I'm at, but I don't practice. But some people claim it but don't practice. Yeah, and some people just carry the attachment of it due to historical events.
Religious freedom, and was declared the very first atheist state in the entire world during the communist regime until 1992. Interesting side note, in Albania they shake their head to say yes and they nod their head to say no.
Oh, that's a fun fact. I didn't know about that. So this means yes and this means no. Let me know in the comments if that's true, or if this dude just saying this right here. Let me know if that's true, y'all.
The friend zone. This is where things get a little interesting because historically, Albania has probably been one of the most socially awkward countries in the world. Shortly after Albania was relinquished...
The friend zone. To my knowledge, it should be like Croatia, right? Croatia. Yeah, I would say Croatia. It's definitely a friend, right?
From the Ottoman Empire, Albania kind of went through a few decades of not exactly quite knowing how to be Albania again. And that's when the Soviet...
I know Turks now, they welcome Albanians with open arms. I don't know if it's like a guilty conscience thing up from the past or what, but I know Albanian goes to Turkey, he's, to my knowledge, ethnic Albanian goes to Turkey, he could be cool, calm, and collective to my knowledge. But let's listen to this man right here. He got the facts, supposedly.
Came in. For a while, Albania was part of the Soviet bloc. However, during the Sino-Soviet split, which is something we will discuss all that drama in another video, Albania actually decided to side with China and not Russia, which strategically may have been a bad decision. The reason being because that made China Albania's only ally in the world. And it can get kind of hard when your only ally in the world isn't even close to you geographically. And to add on top of that, in the 70s, China was kind of like, look, Albania, it was cute how you wanted to tag along, but you're on your own. And then Albania had no allies. In the last few years of communism...
That sucks. That sucks. When you side with someone and that person turns their back on you and leaves you for... It's nothing worse than that. Not a worse feeling. Like, this happens in people's everyday lives as individuals. Like, you with your friend, you riding with him, but then he switches up on you last minute, and it's like, you gonna leave me alone to handle every problem, that you done brought to me? That sucks.
And following the death of Enver Hoxha, Albania kind of saw what was going on and they were like, yeah, we kind of need to turn things around. And finally, in 1990, the communism regime ended, making Albania a constitutional republic. This opened up a lot of doors. And from the 90s up until today, Albania has become one of the most social countries in the world, opening up its arms, trying to regain as many diplomatic relations as it can with as many countries, and to this day has about 40 embassies in 40 different countries. Albania is not a social butterfly. Albania is a social pterodactyl. They even named a street after George W. Bush after he visited there one time in 2007. Interesting side note, there's an early episode of The Simpsons.
Bill Clinton over Bush. I don't care if it's Bill Clinton over Bush. Hey. If y'all know, y'all know. Let's go.
In which Bart signs up for a foreign exchange student program and goes to France, whereas the Simpson family receives an exchange student named Adil from Albania. The episode was filmed in 1990, right before the fall of communism in Albania, and lightly portrays the tensions between Americans and Soviet-influenced nations back in that time. In terms of its best friend, Albania would probably consider Kosovo their best friend, considering that the
Oh, best friend. Okay. Actually, personal opinion, I consider them one. You know, one like this, one bird, two bird, bam, like that. You know what I mean? Just like that. I consider it one. Just a little name separation. But let's go back in time. There was none of that. You understand? So it's like, you know, and at the end of the day, they are ethnic Albanians too. Ethnic Albanians. And this is another thing. When I be posting my videos, they be like, oh, this artist is from Kosovo. Why are you putting the Albanian flag? I do recognize half the times, like a lot of the times, the artists that I listen to come from Kosovo. Just because, like, you know, they're very popular. But I put both flags because at the end of the day, ethnic Albanians are gonna watch this, and like, you know, it's just the way it is. You understand me? Like, ethnically, you guys are Albanian. Y'all both speak what? Albanian. Understand? Ethnically, like, you don't have to be ethnically something to learn a language, but when you're ethnically that, you are that. You get it? So it's just that.
The majority of people in Kosovo are Albanians. Gotta support your brothers.
Thank you. There you go.
In conclusion, Albania may have been that little reserved, quiet kid, and yeah, maybe they made a few bad decisions here and there historically, but they really started to turn things around, and you gotta give that for them. Stay tuned, Algeria is coming up next.
Oh, okay. Damn. It's actually shorter than I really thought. He left out a lot of things. He wasn't talking about the food. He wasn't talking about, didn't even mention the capital. Didn't. A lot of stuff. So I don't know if he did an updated version or not. I'm gonna check. But that's my reaction to Geography Now Albania. You know, let me know what y'all think about it. I wish it was a little bit longer. I definitely wish it was a lot longer. I think I'm definitely gonna go to Geography Now Kosovo. That'll be amazing. And hopefully I can get someone to do it with me. My wife. But if she doesn't want to, you know, it is what it is. She's not camera shy, but she's just waiting for those subscribers to go up, you know. But I'm telling her I'm grinding, I'm gonna get the subscribers up, and then we're gonna see her more often, you know. But yeah, that's that. I enjoyed the video. Touched up on some things that I didn't know, sort of, and I learned some things as well. But yeah, I just wish this was just had more information. And how did you forget to talk about the food, bro? I know Cash love to eat, man. That's how we get big, you know. Come on, you know I love to eat. Where my barack at? Where my flea at? Where my pizza? Come on, man. Where my oh my gosh, okay. Enough of that. It's only one way we do things. That's the Cash way. From me to y'all with love. Albania. Love y'all. My brothers, my sisters. Nothing but love and respect. I'm signing out now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If this hits like, maybe I put a little 10, 20, 15 likes. I'm doing Geography Now Kosovo. 15 likes. I'm doing Geography Now Kosovo. That would be, you know, I'm doing that. I know. That's the way we do it, the Cash way. Love y'all.